You know, the United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the young man who has become a legend in his own time. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
All right, everybody, what's going on? What's good? Regina's here. Angela's here. I don't see Linda. I don't see... Anyway, everybody, it's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. On another Thursday, I need some water. Thursday, it's the... What is today? The 25th? 26th of March. We are back live, bigger and better than ever. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. I see Regana Bracy is here. Angela Muhammad is here. I don't see Linda. Some people are missing. We'll populate that in just a few minutes. Anybody, anyway, welcome to the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. It's just a couple minutes past the hour, 7 p.m. I'm like all discombobulated here. I'm just Darlene. Okay, Darlene is here. All right. So we got it going on a little bit. Everybody, it's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio show coming to you live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, blogtalkradio.com, WBOK 1230 AM in New Orleans, Louisiana, and all around the world. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. I'll bring the ladies in just a minute, everybody. Just a couple minutes past the hour. So the ladies are back. We're going to be, we're talking with the ladies tonight, black women exclusively. And we're going to be discussing whether black women are being categorized not in the best light, because we'll get to it. We'll get to everything, everybody. Darlene, I see Darlene. I see Regina. I see Angela. I don't see Linda yet on the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. I imagine she'll be here in just a few minutes. I'm going to give them a couple minutes to get here. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm monitoring my text messages, so they'll tell me if they're having any problems. Anyway, everybody, it's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio show. And it's on blogtalkradio.com, the Ron Kelly Show.com. So let me just take a look and see if everything is going good. Facebook is just unbelievable. They got sued. They lost the $300 million lawsuit against Facebook, which I don't necessarily agree with, because some people were saying that there were some folks who were addicted, like a drug, addicted to social media, and I imagine that's probably true. I see Linda Gallishow. Okay, Linda's here. All right, Linda is here in the building. Darlene, Angela, Regana. Let me put on my helmet, because I know they're going to hit me upside the head with some of the stuff I got to say tonight. But anyway, it's going to be a good show tonight, everybody. So definitely tune in. Tell a friend. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio show. Just go on Facebook, and you go to the Ron Kelly Show, and hopefully I'm there. I'm not sure yet. I would imagine I'm probably there somewhere. Right here on the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. So, we got a lot to talk about tonight. It's about 5 minutes past the hour. We'll wait. We'll get everybody in. Let me just bring in Linda, Darlene, Angela, and Regina. The gang. Now, Angela, that's not Angela. Now, Angela's got a picture up there. That's Angela. I don't know, maybe Angela didn't get her hair done. But Angela is here. Matter of fact, her mic is on. So I don't know. I guess she's getting herself together. She's getting herself together. So welcome, ladies. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. We got Linda Gallishow. Everybody knows Linda Gallishow. Linda is Patterson personified, along with Darlene Morris. Darlene's been married for 200 years. Regina in today's
Regina.
in today's years anyway, because people don't stay married no more. It's like, oh, Linda's been married a long time too, so okay, we got to
That's
put
right.
Linda.
That's right.
Linda's
38 years.
Linda and Kevin's been holding it down all these years, so we gotta put them in there. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the where black people, black folks are just not being married or not staying married. Um, so we'll get into that. We got a lot to talk about tonight. So who is the black? Who's in? Let me just do my rant real quick, everybody. It's just about 6 minutes past the hour. So I was talking with a couple people yesterday about what is the biggest threat to black folks uh, in the United States of America here, and I got a lot of different positions. Some folks said the Jews, which come on. Some folks said white folks are the biggest threat to black people. And me personally, and I said, and I got a lot of flack behind it. I said that black folks are the biggest. Certain black folks, the ghetto nonsense, are the biggest threat to the black community right now. And I was talking to a friend last night who is involved in the NAACP uh, in Maplewood, New Jersey, here with the Ron Kelly Show. The Ron Kelly Show broadcast from New Jersey, all across the United States of America and around the world. And and some people would, and I said that the lack of cohesion, the lack of community in the black community is probably the biggest threat to black folks because I hang out at the cigar bar every now and then. The cigar bar is the best place. Now, if you're married women, if your husband at the cigar bar, he's at a good place because we go there and we talk and we kick the bobo and all of that stuff. And I don't talk about anything mostly when I go to the cigar bar because everybody knows everything and nobody's listening to nobody. And that's part of the problem. That people are just not hearing each other. Um, people are just not listening to each other. So that's my take on that at just about 8 minutes past the hour. So I hope everybody's getting me at Facebook. I've been having a lot of problems with Facebook. Um, lots of problems with Facebook for some reason. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Say Facebook is cutting me off or whatever. I don't know. But we'll get to that. Anyway, everybody, the ladies are here. Regina, Angela, Darlene, and advocate Linda Galashaw, I should say, because she's got that advocate on there. So, okay.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. All right.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Okay, everybody.
I,
So let's.
I'd like to open up the discussion.
I'm sorry.
Uh, I'd like to open up the discussion about the position that the Black church plays in community.
So,
And
go ahead, Linda.
Yes, she's echoing.
Oh, somebody's. Okay, let me turn my mic off.
oh, yeah, somebody's got something. Okay. When you talk about what is the biggest threat, I think the Black church is a big threat. I think homosexuality is a big threat. Incarceration, these are the things that have a lot of us drawn to corners. It separates us, it divides. And if we don't start paying attention to these three critical unions that have always shaped and led the Black community, then it will be no more. And I said advocate because there's not many advocates anymore even, that are willing to speak up and
Linda went out.
Okay, where did Linda go? Okay, Linda is frozen. I don't know what. I'm not sure what happened. We have a lot of problems with Facebook. Oh my God, just one thing after another with Facebook here lately. Um, and Linda mentioned the churches, and she makes a good point uh, about the churches because Yeah, she makes a good point about the churches.
And there are other
Uh,
bad guys as well.
okay, stand by, everybody. Okay, all right, we are on. Okay, cool. Um, yeah, Linda makes a very good point about the churches because yeah, Linda's okay. Maybe Linda. Let me see. We bring Linda back here. Okay, there she is.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right, Linda. All right. This is a Linda Gallo show production, everybody. So
Oh, you're right. Don't
so
single
you
me out,
know.
Ron. Don't single me out.
Yeah, so you know who put this thing together, Linda Gallo show.
No, no, I did not.
The de facto mayor of Paterson, New Jersey. Uh,
Selling me out, selling me out. But
but you
I'm
made a good.
serious. I really think that the black community
Linda
needs
is
to
echoing
revitalize
again.
our churches that are in the community. Why am I echoing?
You're
Is
good
anybody
now.
else in there?
You're good now.
Oh, okay. Um, if we don't get that back in its place, which
She went out again. Is she muted? Here.
Yeah, somebody was talking about that the money that folks give to black churches, tithing and stuff like that. Um, and the churches are, they don't pay any taxes on their properties. And most of the properties where the churches are located in like lucrative, even in the hood, there's properties where the churches are located that, okay, we received Linda, we get Linda back in a minute. But yeah, there are some people do have some issues with tithing and giving money to the churches, and uh, and the churches don't pay any taxes. Let me see if I can bring Linda back here. Okay, yeah, Linda.
okay, I'm not doing anything yet. I keep fading out.
Okay, now
Well,
I was go on with your point, Linda, about the churches.
I said that if we keep allowing the church to fade out like this, it's going to definitely be detrimental for our communities. For the church has always been on the forefront of anything or the accomplishments of blacks. It started with Martin Luther King, SNCC, all of the churches that were involved in the politics of the day. We don't have that. We don't have community with our children being involved in the leadership roles in the church, teaching them how to speak publicly, how to involve themselves, how to advocate. It all came from the church, and I don't see that happening as much as it used to. We got these beautiful large edifices, and they're empty. Everyone's on the phone. They're on their TV, their computer. Uh, People don't feel the need to be inside the building or the house of God, and that's causing deterioration, I think. So those three
I
are the
agree.
units
I
that I
agree.
think is important. The
Um,
church, the homosexuality that's going on, and the incarceration is slowly eating at the black communities.
But let
well,
me just say this, Linda. I've been, I've lived my whole life without ever having gone to jail. So, so I disagree with you on the incarceration because, if you don't get involved, I mean, yes, there are people who get railroaded. Yeah, not as many as, the churches. I don't think that. Like I said, I've lived my whole life and I haven't been to jail. Haven't been inside. The only time I was inside of a jail was when I was going to be a sheriff's deputy, and they took me into jail to see how, what the jail was about. But other than that, I've never been in jail. And and a lot of us, more often than not, I hate to say it, but a lot of us get involved, get put ourselves in jail. You know what
Well,
I'm
that's what
saying?
I mean.
that's
I'm not
not
blaming
a
anybody for the
hundred percent.
incarceration.
That, um, that's I don't I've known people to go to jail and was really really innocent and different. And there's so many things that cause that. I mean, even when you think about even now, it's just so much more apparent how that when black people are stopped by the police, they'll get shot easier. Colando,
Mhm.
whatever, I forgot his name, Sandra Bland, so many people, and those are the ones that we know about. So I know that we've been railroaded a whole bunch of times, we've been murdered a whole bunch of times. There was a guy in our town that was having a psychotic episode and they killed him. It wasn't, and when you look at the video, it wasn't necessary. So I can't really
Right.
say that. And they were incarcerating them before. There's too many variables to say that that doesn't affect the community and the incarceration rate, and plus the fact that um, other people can do the same thing we do, but we get more time. We know that as a
That's
fact. So
it. That's it.
you can't really say that that's not part of it. But one problem that I see is that people are afraid to have their own opinion. They crowdsource their opinion. Even if you look at the responses on Facebook, I see things that people are right, 100%, right, click, like, oh, you're right. I know that's true. But then when you question what that is, all right, when you bring light to what a person is saying and you come from a different perspective and people kind of like what you're saying too, but now it's like, oh, now I have to think.
Oh
What
yeah.
do you think about stuff? Don't crowdsource it. Like, don't crowdsource your opinion all the time. Think about what you think about. Think about how you feel about it. And if you don't know, go back and your spirit will tell you sometimes. There's been people that say things, and I'd be like, I don't know exactly why I don't agree with you, but it doesn't bear witness in my spirit. So that means that
Mhm.
I have to go back and see what's making me uneasy about it. But people just go along with stuff and they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. And that bothers me because I'm like saying, and then another thing is people are afraid to speak their mind for fear of retaliation on their jobs or different. Well, I heard this one guy in Patterson, and it just made me sick to my stomach. Someone had asked him to support them in a political thing, and he said, "I suppose you, but I can't do it openly. Why not? I feel like calling them the N word. Like why not? Why can't you say even if your people, your Democratic Party or whoever don't like this person, why can't you like them? So you gotta
Right.
hide what you want to do for fear of what somebody else is gonna think. That just sucks to me. Like stand in the courage of your conviction. And so many people don't. They just go along with the go along because I'm not gonna make no waves. Well, make some damn waves. That's why we're not moving forward. And another thing is that we don't plan 20, 30 years ahead. You know what I mean? And so there are think tanks. They've thought about ways they're gonna screw us and we walk right into it. You know what I mean? So there's so many variables that I don't know that you could put your finger on one, two, three, four, five things because even within those five things or 10 things, there's so many other variables. You have to say, oh, peeling this onion back is a big deal. It's a big deal. And it's hard to get your arms around it. But I think that as people like the people here will stand up in the courage of their conviction and be criticized. If tell me, I'm the type of person, I have an opinion. Now, if I'm wrong and you can show me that, I'd be like, oh, wow. This many times I have this one friend, Bridget, she'll say something, and I'd be like, I would have never thought about that like that because I don't think like that. But that gives
Right.
me a
Right.
different way and a different perspective. And now I can consider it. But people don't do that. They just say, oh, yeah, well, so and so said, I don't care what so and so said. What did you say? But anyway, I'm already getting hot because it aggravates me that people don't think.
Well,
And part of the
now
problem
this the
too
game.
is, when I have conversations with people, that's why I try to when I go to the cigar bar or someplace like that, a barbershop, I kind of keep my mouth shut because nobody is listening to nobody. None of the guys are listening to each other. I know what the problem is, and that's it. And that's part of the problem in the black community, like where we just don't listen to each other, and we want the person we like. Like, so let's say we have an organization and we're trying to put something together. We have some issues we need to discuss, or something we need to, uh, something we need to straighten out. And I've been in organizations and I've left organizations because the people who were there, if the person that they liked wasn't running it, they would walk away. You know, like you're dead to me, like they say when go like Cosa Nostra, like you're dead to me, and that's what happens a lot of times with us. Like when I don't agree with you, you're dead. You know what I mean? Let me take a break. Let me take a quick break, everybody, and we'll be back with more of the program. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Show, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, the Ron Kelly Show. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, and shout out to my people. The Ron Kelly Show is sponsored in part by Amica and Port Fuel Transportation for 45 years. 45 years, Amica in Porterfield has been making sure you get to and from your destination safely. They do casino trips, senior trips, private school transportation, school district transportation, you name it, Amica in Porterfield can handle it. Give them a call, 908-753-6423. Once again, 908-753-6423. The Amica and Porterfield Transportation is a sponsor of the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program at 22 minutes past the hour. All right, the ladies are here, everybody. Darlene Morris, Angela Muhammad, I haven't heard from yet. Regina Bracy, who knows? And, Regina Bracy, let me see, I see somebody. Who is that? That's Regina Bracy? I think that's Regina Bracy in her car. Okay. All right. I didn't mean to put
I
your
like
business.
the time in.
I didn't mean to put your business out there. Go ahead.
Am I echoing?
Yes.
No, you're in.
Hello? Hello?
That's better.
Okay, that wasn't me. That was Regina. So, Regina, can you mute, please?
I can't hear.
Can you mute?
I can't hear. I can't hear.
We can
Okay,
hear
that's
you.
better.
No, I
Okay, that's
wasn't.
Angela too.
Yeah, I wasn't
No,
talking.
that's not me. That's not Angela. That's Regina talking.
No, I was telling her that you were on.
Okay, so I would like to just chime in. I heard about the condition of us. I heard about the ones that we would consider hood or hanging out in the hood, or some even go out to call them the N words. And then I heard about the churches. I heard about our political people. And in my humble opinion, I did run for council at large, and I learned a lot of things. I learned that we look to people way too much for things that we can do for ourselves.
All right.
What I mean by that is when somebody hands you a picture of a group of people, the first person you look for is yourself. What is that? Regina, can you mute, please?
Can you mute, Regina?
Okay, yes, thank you. So the first person you look for in a picture is yourself. And I don't think this was an African thing, because I learned from the sisters in Africa. If you went to a village in Africa and you had nothing, every household would give you what you need to sustain your house,
Wow.
because they all lived the same way. And that seems to be a Willie Lynch problem. And since it's a Willie Lynch problem, the slave master that made sure that his slave driving ways and practices will last at least 300 years, and they last right now. We have more rich Black people than we have had in the history of America.
Yes.
Yet, we are in some of the most troubling conditions right now. We still have people in America living under the poverty line. My sisters just went in California and fed the people on Skid Row. Skid Row has existed for decades. How is this possible? Because everybody's, they want to protest and they want to march and they want to sing and whatever the case may be, but who's willing to roll up them sleeves of your shirt and do something? First, start with self. It starts with self. And I don't look to point fingers, I look to solve the problem. And the problem in this city here, Paterson, New Jersey, is a whole lot of talking and not enough walking going on in Paterson. It's a whole lot of work for everybody because one person can't do it. I was at the meeting, and I'll close on this. I was at the meeting with the assistant attorney general. And the pleas at this meeting in the church, I believe in St. Luke's on Carroll Street, I'm sitting there floored. No, I was floored. The pleas from the community, begging for money, begging for this, begging for all things that we could do. I was compelled to stand up and say, he's not our savior. What are you sitting here asking this man for everything we could do for ourselves? So the condition Paterson in, sadly, and I'm including myself, I'm an advocate. I work for free. I volunteered. I did a lot. But did I do enough? So I'll first talk about Angela Muhammad. I can do more. And as a group, as a village, we can get together, unite, and turn this whole situation around.
I think so.
Well, I agree with that to a degree. That was Linda Muhammad, everybody. It's Darlene Morris, Angela Muhammad, Linda Gallishaw, and Regana. Regana, I muted your mic because your car was making too much noise. So I had to mute your mic. When you get to a quieter place, we can talk. Okay, I think she's coming back. All right. So this part of the problem, again, is people not listening to each other, and I've read Willie Lynch, the book, and I get it that that the slave owner had a perfect way to, what the slave owners did was pitted the slaves against each other. You had the house Negroes, and the house Negroes lived a whole lot better than the field Negroes. So so the field Negroes were jealous of the house Negroes, and that's in even like today, the people that don't have are jealous of the people who do have. But I would say that after all these years, we know what the problem is. So why is it so hard for us to find a solution if we know what the problem is?
I don't think it's hard to find a solution. I think that I have to agree with Angela on a lot of levels because it's like this. There's a program, and the people are ashamed to say when they failed. Okay, years ago, I think back in 2008, whenever it was 2008, whatever, I was about to lose my house. Okay, and a friend told me about a program called NACA. I jumped on it with all fours. Okay. Mm-hmm. My husband and I have been in our house for 24 years now. Okay. Now, because somebody helped me, I made a lifestyle of making sure that people were aware of this program because it's 100% financing. All right. 100% financing. And they're going to give you an interest rate 1% lower than what the market is at any time. Okay. Another friend of mine we did workshops and 200, 300, 400 people, 500 people would come. And we had it down at school 4 in Patterson. And if 4 people took advantage of that program, that was a lot. And I don't
Wow.
even think that they went through with it. And so here you go. Now, this was years ago, because actually my first program was going to be March the 13th or the 14th, because we left the school system for COVID and I had to cancel it. And I was going to try to sneak and have it anyway, but like 600 people were coming and you couldn't really put that many people together. Okay. So that was the first time I was going to do a major program to help people, right? And we subsequently had more. And if people had done that then, these $2,000, $2,500 price apartments, they would have their own home by now, would have been in it for almost 10 years. Now they're paying mortgage prices for apartments. Which I think is absolutely crazy. So people didn't move on the opportunity, and that happens so much. You'll share an opportunity with people, and they won't take advantage of it. And then they want to cry about it. Stop crying. You have to get up off your seat or do nothing and make it work for yourself. I don't understand why people do that. I really just don't. And you almost feel like shaking them and saying, nobody's going to give you anything that's worth having. If you get something, you'll get it yourself. But if someone gives you an opportunity, jump on it. And people don't. And I've seen it over. Now, that was back in 2019 when I was going to do that program, right? At the school. And I have been telling people about it prior to that. But if I know 5 people that took advantage of it from the different programs that we had, so I think that we have to blame ourselves for a lot of the things that we're missing out on. Not everything, but a lot of things.
Well, when's the last time you heard somebody talk about a rent party? Back in the day, people would have rent parties where, if somebody was behind on their rent for whatever the case may be, we would get together, have a party, everybody would chip in to try to help that person, get back on their feet. But nowadays, it's like every man for himself. I got mine, you better get yours. And that's the way it is with us now. In some communities, like in the Asian community, don't nobody get evicted. Somebody coughs up the money and to help someone, get ahead. It's in the Arab community, in the Asian community, in the Jewish community, they don't let each other they don't let each other, hit the skids. How many Jewish people do you see in the senior building? How many Asian people you see in the senior building? How many, Arab people you see in the senior building? You don't really see that because their parents live with them until they die, and we don't do that. Once our people get to a certain age, when you go to the senior building, you see mostly like black folks. You know what I'm saying? And when you see white people be living in townhouses. When they live in the senior townhouses. They're not crammed into the senior buildings like we do. So we don't take care of our folks who came before us as much as other ethnic groups do. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of, because how many people do you see suffering? How many people you see on the street? And those people don't have to be on the street. Look at how many football players we got making hundreds of millions of dollars, basketball players making hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're not really like trying to help out people, but besides somebody like maybe LeBron who builds schools for free and this type of stuff. But there's a lot of money in the black community that's just not being circulated. You know what I'm saying? So
It's
that's
the
part of the problem.
American way.
Well, so the American way is, I got mine. I'm living in this big house that can fit 50 people in it, but it's just me. I got 8 cars. I got, so much money in the bank, but the money is not being circulated in the community. Like they say, because the average dollar in the black community only stays there for 4 hours, six
Or
hours, and then you
less,
have
or
then
less.
you have the other communities where the dollar was circulated in community five for 30 days. We have people who are in the black community who are making money. The chicken places, the Chinese places, and them people live in Queens. They
The
don't live
key
nowhere
is
around
they're
here.
not from America.
They're not. A lot of them are not from here, and they don't give a damn about black people. You know,
Well,
they don't
I want
care.
to
Angela.
about the nursing home thing. I worked at a nursing home, and let me be the first one to tell you, there's more white people in the nursing home than anybody. They do not take care of their people, and that's what I mean by the American way.
Well, those people need to
We
be in the nursing home,
no 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 no
Angela.
no
They
no
need
no
to
no.
be in the
I
nursing
worked there.
home.
I worked there, but they were put away. It's a different.
Yeah,
Some of them
yeah,
are
they,
sick. Some of them don't have it. I see these people cry almost every day because their children, grandchildren, nobody comes to see them,
That's
and they come
that's
for
true.
money. They come
Because
for
my
yeah,
money.
but
husband drives for a senior citizen building, and where I live, and there was only a few black people in there. And matter of fact, there's a lady in there. She's Italian, 104 years old, and she goes to ring everybody's doorbell to make sure they're okay every day. But it's more white people in there than black people. That's for sure.
yeah, but see,
Well,
they put the family because they can't take care of them, so they put
you
them.
you're putting a humanitarian twist on it, but seeing it on being there, this is about taking their money and putting them away. And that's why I say, and I think his name is Lamont Gates. I didn't say that the American way isn't just the blank or black way. I say we're mimicking them. When we were segregated, we had more spending power. We went to our own hotels, own restaurants, own schools, own hospitals. The minute we became integrated, the white man ice became colder than the black man's ice.
There's an
So,
echo.
yeah, I know, I hear it.
Well, yeah, you have a point there that integration may not be. That's something we fought for, you know, and it may not have been the best thing. Maybe we was better off being segregated from white folks
That's what
because
Martin Luther King said.
yeah, because you had the Black Wall Street, like you said in Oklahoma, where there was community of black folks. Black folks bought from each other. Black folks uh, conducted commerce with each other. There wasn't no white people there. It was all black people. I mean, unfortunately, white folks got, wind of it and, and burnt the place down and killed a bunch of people. But that shouldn't have stopped us from doing that because I mean, yeah, this is the United States of America, and no, America wasn't made for us. It wasn't built for us, and we weren't included in the Constitution. Anything that has anything to do with black folks is an amendment where they had to go back and say, "Oh, let's fix this." And let me see. Lamont Gates says, okay, he was referring. Lamont Gates says he's referring to me, of course. Only believe in black folks and not her. Lamont Gates, that's my buddy, Lamont Gates. Lamont Gates has a program on YouTube, real uh, people who died and came back. So yeah, so you can check Lamont Gates out. I'm not sure what day it is, but you can look him up on YouTube. Lamont Gates also says blacks being the only. You see, when I get old, if you want to put me in a nursing home, you're gonna pay for it. All right, fine. You ain't got to. Somebody will be there to take care of me. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that there's an issue with white folks too, where they don't really pay attention to their people, and they put them in nursing homes and don't go visit them and stuff like that. I get that, but I still say, Lamont Gates, that our people, we don't take care of each other. Like I said, back in the day, we had the rent party. People would put their money together and they would help somebody pay their rent. I mean, rent was a lot cheaper back then, so it was more, it was more doable back in the day. But now, you see people getting evicted, people getting put out, people, tax situations like in Patterson, for example, where the taxes are through the roof, and people are losing their houses, but nobody's doing anything about it. And you have black people who are on the council, for example, who are not really paying attention to that. I was talking to somebody a few minutes ago, somebody from the council. I'm not going to say who, but somebody from the council. And people are we just not caring about each other. We're not, helping each other out. And I'm against like giving out food. I'm against that. I'll tell you straight up. I'm against people giving out food because you teach a person how to fish, they'll eat forever. If you give them a fish, they'll eat for that day. So I'm against handing out boxes and stuff like that.
I,
These people
I agree with that. Plus, they could poison
helping each
you.
other. I'm sorry, Darlene.
I agree with you on
I
that
agree with you
because
on that because
I always think
I
that
always think
when they're
that
giving you
when
all
they
that
give you
food,
all that food,
it could be
it could
poison,
be
slowly poison you.
slowly
And
poison you.
another thing,
And another thing,
if a person
if a
has to
person
feed you,
has
they
to
can
feed you,
starve
they
you.
can starve
So
you.
you need
So
to make
you
sure
need
that
to
you do
make
your
sure
own
that you do
thing.
your own thing.
Well, see, like in my church, for example. I mean, not all churches are bad. Circling back to the church thing. I mean, not all churches are bad. And my church has a food. It's very unique because they let the people pick out what they want. You know, in my church, Christ Church, they have a situation where people can go in and like shop for their food instead of standing in line out in the rain half the day waiting for a box of food. And some of it they probably can't even use. So,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. Because you see it when you see it in the hood, you see a line of people waiting outside the church, and it ain't Sunday, so they must be looking for some food or something. But in my church, they let the people. It's just like a ShopRite or AMP or whatever, where the people can go around and pick out their own stuff, so they can maintain a level of dignity, instead
Mm.
of being handed a box of food that you may not be able to use.
So
So
what would
that's
So what would
happen
happen
if the
uh,
streets don't get open
don't get
Angela.
up
open up
and the
and
church
the church
people don't have
people
food?
don't have food?
See, this is what
See,
I
this is
see.
what I see.
I think
I
God
think
is going
God is
to
going to
humble
humble
everybody
everybody
because of the people
because of
that
the
have
people that
got
have got
or have and the
or
have
have and
nots.
have not.
Right now, a
Right now, a
container
container
that used to
that
cost
used to
fifteen
cost
hundred dollars to get through
$1,500
that
to get
straight.
through that street.
You know how
You know
much it costs
how
now?
much it costs now?
6,000.
6,000.
You have places
You
with
have
no
places
food.
with no food.
You have
You
places that
have
gas is
places that gas is
$12 a
$12 a
gallon.
gallon.
So we have to
So
really
we have to
open our
really open
eyes
our
in our
eyes in
comfortable
our comfortable
places because
places
God's going to
because
make us
God's going to
very
make us very
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
He's going to make
He's
sure
going to
we
make
know how to
sure we know
share.
how to share.
We know how to
We know
help
how
each
to
other. We
help
know
each
how to
other. We know how
barter
to
because before
barter
the
because
money
before the
came, we
money came,
bartered.
we bartered.
If I grew
If I
tomatoes
grew
and you grew
tomatoes and you
onions, we
grew onions, we
trade.
trade.
That's how we
That's
eat.
how we eat.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. At the end, when it's all over, yeah, everybody's going to be on the same level. Millionaire, homeless person, everybody's going to be on the same level in the end when Jesus decides when he want to come back here and straighten
Right.
things out. Right. So it's going to be, it's not going to matter how much money you have or whether you live in a mansion or in a cardboard box. Everybody's going to be on the same level, you know. So let's circle back to now. I wanted to talk about um, black women being unfairly categorized. Linda Galashaw, are black
Yes,
women
that's
being
right.
unfairly categorized?
I think
Linda,
so.
I think so.
As I said, I
As I
think that
said,
we
I
have
think
been
that we
forced
have
to
been
take
forced to
more of
take
a leadership
more of a
role in our
leadership role in
homes
our homes
and in the
and in the
workplace.
workplace.
The black
people
man is being
say,
Black man is
diminished by
being
so many
diminished by
different
so many
levels.
different levels.
yeah, because people
Why
say
do we
that
have that?
black women are in your face, bombastic, confrontational, don't listen, hard headed. You name it, all across the spectrum. This is what Asian people, people who are not black, non-blacks. This is what they generally think about black women, and black women get the unfair characterization just like black men do. Oh, we don't take care of our kids. We got 10 baby mamas. We don't, we lazy and shiftless, and we just use women and all of that stuff. So so some any either one of y'all could answer that. Like, do you think that black women are being unfairly characterized, or is there some truth to it?
I think it's a lot of truth to it. This regained, there's a lot of truth to it because we are angry. We are mad. You know, imagine wanting to feed your kids and you got to go and sell your body to do it. You know, imagine all the lack of economic resources they go through, a lot of the trauma they go through. You know, black
But
women go through the most. So yeah, they are angry. I think they have
but there's
the right
a
to be angry.
there's a girl on has a podcast on because I watch other podcasts too, and she talks to black women, and she says so she starts out by asking like how many kids you got, and the lady said four, and she said well how many baby daddies you got, and the lady said three, so another one said she had 8 kids, but she had 6 baby daddies. So isn't it incumbent upon the woman to be responsible and because the man, you know, a lot of these guys who are making these babies are street thugs and hustlers and whatever the case may be, and the women already know about these men.
My
They
thing is,
already
it's a
know
shared.
they know they're irresponsible. They know that they don't work, hustle, sell drugs, whatever the case may be, and the women still have the kids from anyway. So whose responsibility is it, Darlene, that women that the women whose responsibility is it that women make sure they if they have a kid they have it for somebody who's uh, man enough to step up and take care of that kid.
Well, my opinion on that is this. From a very young girl, and I tell a person that their aunt, and I didn't know them at the time, was one that convinced me that I would never have a child out of wedlock because she had a baby for a guy, and I always saw her with that baby on the hip, and I said, I will never have a baby that I have to take care of by myself, right? And I was like about 12 years old when I felt that way. And I made a conscious effort. I made a conscious decision not to ever have a child out of wedlock because I felt as though um at least if I got married, and my mother always said she wanted all her children to have the same name, and we all have the same name, the same father, and all that kind of thing. My mother had 3 children. And even though she and my father did divorce, we all knew who was where and what and all that kind of thing. So those are the things that I grew up with. And I made a concerted effort to never have a child out of wedlock, and I didn't. And I think that it's a choice. And I think that what happened was society loosened the moral clarity. And you'd have a baby for one person. Okay, I can almost see one baby, and then you didn't make work out when you were young and dumb and whatever. But to have 2, 3, 4 baby, that's ridiculous to me. I mean 3, 4, because like at what point do you start to now I think the men are responsible too. Okay. I'm not gonna just put it on the female. Okay, because also, like I taught my sons, I really dug my heels in with my sons, and as a result, I only have 2 grandchildren, but I appreciate them. Um, I just think that we did cause some of our own problems. And if you're suffering with 3 or 4 kids by yourself, well, you kind of knew that was going to happen, and you kind of, I mean, like, just common sense, or what I think is common sense, should have told you that you shouldn't have a baby with everyone you're intimate with. Okay. And you could be intimate and not have babies. Okay. So I think that in a lot of cases, people brought that on themselves. And then when they get hard, then it's like, somebody should help me. Well, Why? I
We've made
mean,
it easy.
other
We
than a moral obligation to try to help each other, you can't just expect people to take on your responsibilities for the decisions that you made. And it's hard, you know what I mean? But like you can't say I'm wrong for not wanting to help you. But I think that I always help people. So I know that I do my part, but I think that you got to take responsibility for the decisions that you make. And I think that when you know someone that's not being responsible in that regard, um, you need to tell them candidly. And I know the person is going to see this broadcast, but years ago there was a young lady that I was watching her, and she was kind of hanging around me. I said, "So what are you going to do? When are you going to get a job?" Because her kids were in school full time. So she was like, Miss Darlene, I said, well, listen, don't be hanging around me. I said, because you got your kids in school now, so you can, work full time. So my cousin helped her get a job, and then she got a little taste of money, and then she went out and got a full time job in that same capacity. And then the next thing I know, she was calling me in about a year or two, and she was like, Miss Darlene, my paycheck looks like a tax return. So I was like, where do you work, baby? I need to like you. And then the next thing she did was she bought a car. The next thing she bought a brand new BMW. The next thing she got out of the bad area, even though she lives in the same town, she got out of the bad area and put her kids in a nicer area. And now her kids are graduating from high school now, and she's very proud of herself. But maybe had I not been candid with her and said, you need to get up off your seat and do nothing and get a job, and then help her get a job. And as a result of that, her family was changed. But the thing is, we want to be passive with people. I don't want to hurt your feelings. And she said to me, Miss Darlene, I thought you was mean when I met you. I'm not mean, but I'll tell you the truth about what I think. And so now, and I'm so proud of her. Like, I'm just so proud of her because she's doing so well for herself. She has a beautiful place. And not to ingratiate myself at all. Trust me. But I just think that being candid with people, and when they make mistakes, like if I see somebody that have one child out of wedlock, I'd be telling them, look, don't be having no more, because you see what he did, the next one to do the same thing. Take care of this one and make it happen for yourself. And if somebody doesn't honor you enough to want to marry you and to take care of you, why would you have a child for him? I told this one girl that, and she was like, well, he don't like this. I said, well, you don't like having a baby by yourself either, do you? What do you care what he likes? Does he care what you like? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Lamont Gates says that I think the behavior is due to learned environment traits, being part of an urban subculture, and lack of social, emotional education. A man can't have a baby by himself. And if the United States government has made it easy for women to have babies, because the United States government is the baby's
It's not
daddy.
easy.
No, because the United States government is the baby daddy. You got WIC, you got SNAP, one girl came on, she said she's getting like $2,000 worth of food stamps. So the United States government has made it easy for black women and this is part of the conspiracy, that they've made it easy for black women to have babies. Or I don't care if he come back, or I don't care, I don't need no man, because the United States government is the man. WIC is the man. When the baby is when they have the baby, you get the formula, you get the cereal, you get milk, all free courtesy of the United States government. So they've made it easy for women to have children without a man. Now it's easy.
And I live.
Go ahead.
Dated view. In the 70s, really know, but for hide in the house.
Who was that trying to talk? Is that Linda?
No,
No.
You know, and Lamont Gates says white women use those government programs. Why? And see, we can't keep looking. You know, white people are doing all right in America. You know, even with the ones that are on
But
welfare, whatever, they do it. We're the ones that's suffering. You know, white folks. I don't give a damn what white folks do, because that don't have. You know, that white
but
people on welfare. White people on welfare don't affect us. You know what I'm
but
saying?
that's the
But
point. I'm
us on welfare
in our
affects us. Yeah, I know white people use Snap and Wick and all of that stuff, but so what? So what? We the white people are doing good in America. You know, there's more of them, so there's more of them on welfare because there's more of them. There's only 30, 40 million people, black folks in America. There's 300 and something million people who live here in this country. So we're only like not even a third of the population. So, uh, you know, speaking per capita, there's more of us on welfare per capita than they are.
no
You know
sir,
what I'm saying? There's more of them on welfare than we are.
no
And
sir.
we gotta stop looking at, well, I don't care what white, they can kill each other, they can do whatever they do. You know, I don't care about what white people do. I care about what black people do. And we're the ones that's suffering because you don't see as many. Lamont Gates said these programs were made. No, they weren't made for blacks. No, but you know, white folks don't want black people to be together. Imagine black people, all the years we've lived here, all the crises, all the drama, all the racism, all the redlining, and all the stuff that black folks have gone through. Can you imagine if we were all on our P's and Q's? Could you imagine what black people could be like if we all had it together? We'd be a force to be reckoned with. Having survived in this country hundreds of years after slavery, we'd be a force to be reckoned with. But because we are not together, because we're not together, because we don't work together, because we don't listen to each other, this is the situation, you know, that we have. You know, yeah, they have ghetto white folks, but do you ever see them? You
no,
know, do you be in Appalachia? Do you be in like West Virginia, Alabama? You know, where white folks, where what they call them, trailer park trash or whatever that they call white folks. We don't see them. When the last time you seen you know, some poor white folks on the street? You don't see them, but we see us. We see our people, black folks. You know, I don't
But
care what white folks do. Mark
Ron, let me
Fowler
just
says,
add this.
Add this.
But I
well,
live
hold
in the
on.
area, right? And I thought it was
I thought it
weird
was weird
because I know
because
for
I
a
know for
fact
a
that
fact
there's these
that
homeless
there's
people.
these homeless people.
There was a
There was a
hotel
hotel
that would, during
that
the
would
winter
during the
time,
winter
when
time
people are
when people
homeless,
are
they
homeless,
put us
they
in
put
these
us in these
hotels,
hotels.
right? And
Right? And
because I knew
because
some
I
of them,
knew some of
and I
them,
was
and
like,
I was like,
I was in
I was in
Patterson and I saw an
Paris, and
old
I saw an
lady
old lady
getting on the
getting
street,
on the
get ready to
street,
lay
getting ready
down.
to lay
And
down.
I went over
And
to
I
her
went
and I
over to her
said,
and I said,
"Are you
"Are
homeless?"
you homeless?"
And she told me
And she
yes.
told
And I
me
couldn't
yes, and I
believe it
couldn't believe
because that
it
lady could have
because
been my
that lady
mother.
could
So
have
I
been my
gave her
mother.
what
So
I
I gave her
had.
what I had.
But
yes,
that wouldn't
yes.
happen where
That
I
wouldn't
live
happen where
because
I
they would have
live
put her
because
in
they
a
would have put her in a
hotel.
hotel.
well, see, well, you know, I see a lot of black people on the street, especially where I work at, like in Newark
I don't
and
understand.
certain places. And see, but we got to stop looking at the white folks. We got to stop. White folks are going to survive. You know what I'm saying? Because this country is their country. It was built for them. It wasn't built for us. So I don't care if white women are on welfare. I don't care if they have the trailer park trash because we don't ever see that. You don't see white people on Springfield Avenue. You don't see white people on Monticello Avenue in Jersey City or Presidential Boulevard in Patterson. You don't see white people there. You know, but you see our people. We see our people. So we got to do something about us. There ain't nothing we can do about white folks. So I really don't care about that. All right, if everybody down to POK, we're going to go over for a few minutes. Everybody just stand by. Lamont Gates says He does. Yeah, okay. But I don't have to wait to look on TikTok to see poor black folks, ghetto nonsense, bonnets and all kinds of, going to the get on the plane with pajamas. I see that. I see that with my own eyes. I don't have to go on TikTok to see poor white folks. Because well, all I see is poor black folks in front of the McDonald's on 18th Avenue and between Irvington and Newark. The lady, elderly lady, standing at the window waiting for somebody to give her some change or something. I mean, but I don't see white people doing that. I see black folks doing that. All right, take a break, come back. Take a break, come back, everybody. Catch your breath, take a break, come back with more in just a minute. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Show. All right, everybody, we are back. This is the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. And it's on blogtalkradio.com, the RonKellyShow.com. Angela Muhammad, Linda Galashaw hasn't said a word, but she's here somewhere.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
And
I'm enjoying the conversation.
Darlene Morris. Okay, I think sorry, somebody's missing. Regina Bracy is missing. She said, I'm not sure what happened with her, but thank her, appreciate you.
Maybe because you're not saying her name correctly. Regina.
Regina?
Oh my God.
Regainer.
Yes.
Well, just Regina would have been a lot easier to say. Anyway, everybody. Oh, Lord Jesus. Y'all, black folks and these names. Oh, Lord have mercy. All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. Yeah, we have gone over a few minutes, so, tell a friend I'll be on for another few minutes before we leave up out of here. But, we gotta, in my humble opinion, we have to start focusing on us. We gotta stop looking at other people. Oh, the Jews do this. Oh, the Asians do that. I mean, yeah, they do, and they do it a lot better than we do. You know what I'm saying? We got issues in our neighborhood. How many black owned businesses are in your neighborhood? How many? Linda Galashaw. How many black businesses? Right. There's no in these places in the black community are owned by other people. You look at downtown Patterson, for example. How many black owned businesses downtown Patterson? 0. But those people,
I have a black-owned business.
I'm saying there should be more black-owned businesses in these urban centers than there are. But you got all kinds of folks. You got Arabs, you got Asian, a lot of them Asian. You go up Broadway, there's a Chinese restaurant on every corner. And I got nothing against Chinese people, but there's a Chinese restaurant on every corner. So guess what? When they leave, when they close their shop to go home, that money go with them. That money goes with them. They're not trying to improve the community. They're not trying to donate to help kids go to college. They're not doing nothing but just taking the money, and we're letting them. I remember when I was growing up, which wasn't that long ago, my mother, we never went to the Chinese restaurant. If I wanted Chinese food, I had to go make some money and buy it myself. You know what I'm saying? We always ate together. That's another thing that's missing in the black community. We don't eat together. It's Thanksgiving. One day out the year, and maybe Christmas, we'll eat together. If you got a household of people, one person wants KFC that is not black owned, one person wants Chinese food that's not black owned, somebody else wants McDonald's, which is, I think the McDonald's is black owned in Patterson. We got to run a check on them and see what they're doing in the black community. But
They're doing what
yeah, I
they
mean,
can.
all the money,
Rod, I agree with you.
millions and millions and millions of dollars are being spent in the black community by black folks and giving the money to other people.
Okay, I
Okay, I
believe
believe
the American
the
enemy
American
are the
enemy
enemy
are
of
the
us.
enemy of us.
I think we can
I
agree
think we
upon
can
that.
agree
The
upon
enemy
that.
are
The enemy are
self-destructing.
self-destructing.
And how we
And
can
how we
work our
can
way
work our
out.
way
We have
out.
to
We
start
have to start
establishing little
establishing little
circles,
circles,
cultivating our own
cultivating our own
backyards to
backyards
improve the
to
quality
improve
of
the
life.
quality of life.
Now,
Now,
Michael
Here's an
Jackson
Michael
would
echo.
be
Jackson
a
would be
perfect
a
example.
perfect
He is the
example. He is the
councilman
councilman
for the
for
first
the
ward.
first ward.
The first
The
ward is
first
one
ward
of
is one
the
of
worst
the
wards
worst
in
wards
Paris.
in Paris.
If he could
If
come
he
up
could
with
come up
some
with
type of
some type of
program
program
to put out to his community, his residents, on how to clean up that community, we have to first start with cleaning it up. It is disgusting over there, along with the fourth ward, the trash, the amount of trash on the streets. Let's just do an experiment with maybe 3 or 4 blocks, put this program in effect, and see, is it really the city's responsibility to clean in front of your door? I don't think so. I live in a neighborhood where we all clean in front of our doors. We clean the streets. We don't even have a street cleaner. They don't even come on the block because everybody wants to live decently, and we clean in front of our own yards, our
You
own
see,
our own
curb.
person.
right? But people have to
And that's
care
not
though,
And
Linda.
that's
happening.
not happening.
People,
That's not
people.
happening in
That's
See,
not
Paris.
happening in Paris.
well, ownership. When I lived in
Changes
Patterson
things.
and I was married, I owned a home. I made sure that when I put out the trash, that I put it out in the proper garbage bags or
Right.
garbage cans rather, so the cats and whatever else can't rip them open and have stuff all over the ground. And I took care of the property because I owned it. And see, in the fourth ward, don't nobody own nothing in the fourth ward. I mean, shout out to Ruby Cotton. It's not all can't lay it all at her feet, but nobody owns anything in the fourth ward. And people, and statistics show that folks who own take better care of their property because it belongs to them, as
Right,
opposed to
right.
people
Right,
who
right.
live in
They don't feel
apartments.
like
They don't feel like
stakeholders. They don't feel like
stakeholders. They don't feel
stakeholders.
like
They're not
stakeholders. They're
Right,
invested.
not
right.
invested.
They're
And
transient
They're
people
transient people.
Here's an
that
echo.
can
Here's
get
the
up and
echo.
leave
Get up
next
and
year.
leave next
So
year.
they're not
So
grounded.
they're not
But I
grounded.
think an
But I think an
experimental program of
experimental
3 or 4
program of 3 or
blocks
4
to
blocks
set the
to
tone and
set the
maybe clean
tone
up
and
the
maybe
water.
clean up the water.
And
They
these
have to
people,
do
They
an
have to
and
example.
do an example.
yeah, well, Mark Fowler says black people are consumers rather than investors. See, and these people, the hair people, I bet you that hair place downtown Patterson, for example, the one down by Main and Broadway, they're probably making more money than anybody else down there. The hair care, the hair care place is probably making more money than anybody down there. Out of all the businesses, that hair care place is probably making more money than that mall. That mistake mall is what I call it because they never should have built it because nobody's
Right.
going there.
Right.
Because people around and surrounding Wayne and Cedar Grove and Wyckoff, some people ain't coming to Patterson. Those people are not coming to Patterson, and
No.
that's why you don't have you have the ghetto, Burlington, and some of the other low rent places that have businesses there, but you don't see a Fidelity investment place. You don't see those you don't see those places in our neighborhoods. All you see is the sneaker place, Burlington Coat Factory, Value Zone, dollar stores. That's all you see around here in the black community. You don't see businesses, constructive businesses where you can go in there and buy, you can go make an investment plan or get a 401k. No, there's sneakers. A lot of the stuff they sell downtown in some of these areas, Newark, Broad and Market, a lot of that stuff is garbage. It's garbage.
Well,
We go
also,
down
Ron,
there.
Also, Ron,
We go down there. We go down there faithfully and buy that stuff. The people go downtown Patterson and buy that stuff, and a lot of it is garbage, low rent, low quality stuff. You know what
well,
I'm saying?
well,
with regards to the
with regards
garbage,
to the garbage,
I think that you're
I
right
think
that
that
when
you're
people
right
own
that
their
when people
homes, they
own their
definitely
homes, they
want to
definitely
make sure
want
it
to
looks
make
nice
sure it looks
because
nice
you're in the
because
neighborhood
you're
and
in the
everyone is
neighborhood and
making sure
everyone
that
is
their
making sure
property
that
looks
their property
nice.
looks nice.
And again,
And
when
again,
you have
when
those
you
homes like
have
in the
those
first and
homes
the
like in the
fourth
first and
ward,
the fourth
and
ward,
two and three
and
is
two and
like
three
two
is like
family
two
houses,
family houses,
and then the person
and then the
downstairs may
person
make a
downstairs
mess,
may
and the
make a
other one
mess,
does
and
it.
the
So
other
I'm
one
not going
does
to
it.
clean
So
up
I'm
your
not
mess;
going to
they
clean up
don't
your
come
mess. They
together.
don't come
I
together.
don't think that
I
is
don't think
the
that is the
council person's
council person's
responsibility because
responsibility
you
because
got all
you
those
got
houses there.
all those
What are you
houses
going to do?
there. What are you going
However,
to do? However,
I know for a
I
fact
know
that
for a
one
fact
thing
that
that
one thing
was a
that
big problem
was a
was the
big problem
dumping.
was the dumping.
And I know
And
that
I know
Michael
that
Jackson
Michael
wrote an
Jackson
ordinance
wrote an ordinance
that
that
if a person were
if a
to catch
person were
someone,
to catch
film
someone,
someone
film
dumping,
someone dumping,
they go to court,
they go to court,
$10,000
ten
fine,
thousand
and the
dollar
person
fine,
would
and the
get half of
person
that
would
ten
get half of
thousand
that ten
dollars,
thousand
right?
dollars, right?
And I believe
And
that
I
with as
believe
many
that with
people that
as
have
many
phones
people
and
that have
stuff,
phones and
a lot
stuff,
of people would have
a
made
lot
that
of
a
people would have
full-time
made that a
job.
full time
And
job,
you'd have been able to
and
catch
you'd
a
have
whole
been
bunch
able
of
to
those
catch a whole bunch of those
dumpers,
dumpers,
and
and
people wouldn't be dumping
people
as
wouldn't
much,
be
and there
dumping
wouldn't
as
be as
much, and
much
there wouldn't be
garbage.
as much
There
garbage.
would be garbage,
There would be
but not
garbage,
as much.
but not as much.
Yeah, but
So, but
I
the
don't
thing
So,
is,
but
care.
the thing is,
No, I
nobody
was gonna.
supports
nobody
that.
supports that.
Even like the black
Even like the
businesses, when
black
I'm a black
businesses, when
business,
I'm a black business,
churches bought
churches
programs, but they
bought
never bought
programs,
it
but
from
they
us.
never bought it from us.
It was something about that
It was
white
something
man's
about
life
that
that
white
was just
man's
a little
life that was
colder,
just a little
you know.
colder.
So we have to learn
So
to
we have
support
to
one
learn to
another.
support one another.
We have to come up with
We have to
programs
come
that
up with
can help
programs that
us
can help us.
because why would somebody
Because
else
why would somebody else
make a program to
make a
fix us?
program to fix us?
You see,
We
Lamont
have to do it
We have to do
ourselves.
it ourselves.
Yeah, Lamont Gates says that they also have flooded in the city due to opioid addiction. They flood the areas with all kinds of stuff, but you don't have to take it. You know what I'm saying?
No,
No,
right, right,
You
right.
you
You don't
don't
have
they
to.
they you know you they flood. They talked about the crack, and I remember the I remember when Reagan was the president, and they were selling drugs to fund the Colombians, to fund the people that they wanted to take over that Latin American country. Crack, but you don't have to take it. You know, you don't have to take it. Black Patagonians like to spend their money in suburban towns, says Mark Fowles, like Paramus and Wayne. Yeah, because but I partially agree with that, Mark Fowles, because I wouldn't shop downtown Patterson. No, no,
No,
no.
I wouldn't shop. I would not shop. I would not go down there and spend my money because I know that money is going in the bag, the lock the bank bag, and that they're gonna take that money to where they stay. Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan,
Go back, go
the
back.
outer Wayne, Wayne, and some of these other places where these people come from. Lamont Gates says even if it was all black businesses, you're only making that individual wealthy. It's not being spread to an entire black community. Jeff Bezos isn't giving whites free houses. True indeed. True indeed. So what I'm saying is that just because the businesses are black businesses doesn't mean that they're going to spend their money. Just because the businesses are black businesses don't mean it because black business people take their money and go about their business too. You know what I'm saying? So just because the business is black, and that's why I don't really support. I mean, I support that there should be more black businesses, but I don't think that you should shop at a black business just because it's black. No, no,
I agree.
I don't,
agree.
I don't
I
believe
don't
that.
agree that people vote for someone just because they're black and you're black. It's got to be something more than that. We got to start working out of our emotions
Emotions
and learn to read and
learn to
educate
read and
ourselves so that
educate
we want
ourselves
to
so
take
that
a
we
real
want to take
decision.
a decision.
Our
Sarah
friends
Wiggins
don't
says.
take the benefit we benefit from time.
Sarah
That's how
Wiggins
you
says.
ever.
Sarah E. Wiggins says she grew up in Patterson in the fourth ward to a blue collar. I guess that's what she meant. Blue collar couple in substandard apartments. Some of them didn't have heat and hot water, not to mention shower, tub, or sink um, in the bathroom. Sorry to hear that.
Yes, I know what that
Yes,
is.
I know what that is.
Yeah, because my mother had 8 children, and my mother refused to live in the projects. Don't get on me about the projects. Now, I don't have nothing against the projects, but my mother did not. We never lived in the projects. My mother had 8 children, Yeah, I mean, she wasn't taking care of us all at the same time because some were younger and some had already been, I was a fifth child. So some were younger and some had already grown up and gone on to be whatever it is they was going to be. But Mark Follis earlier said that black people don't manufacture, we're consumers. And these people, these people are laughing all the way to the bank. They are. The Louis Vuitton and Gucci and all of these people, they're laughing on their way to the bank. The the places where to get your nails and your feet done. Some of the women, y'all need more work than nails and feet. I need to let you know. But but I mean, come on, the hair places where it costs a couple of $100 for a pack of hair. You know what? And they will get it. And it's not to say that there's anything wrong with people buying hair, but the eyelashes, white women wear fake eyelashes, but they don't wear them as big as we do. Because I see some. Yeah, we got about 15 minutes left of the program, everybody. I've seen some of the biggest eyelashes where I would think if they blink too hard, they might fly away. And these people are laughing. If you're gonna buy hair, there should be a black place where you can go buy the hair. Since we're the ones that's buying it, because white people don't have to buy hair. White women don't buy hair.
Well, the Korean
connected trying to get the
But people are more, but our people are more concerned with how they look than their legacy,
Koreans
what they represent.
black people.
We're more concerned about how we look. I gotta have that hair. I gotta have them eyelashes. I gotta have the Louis Vuitton bag. And a lot of the women don't even know what a real Louis Vuitton bag looks like. They don't even know.
Wow.
Well,
not to pile on women.
but I don't.
A lot of them don't even know. Because there's certain things about a Louis Vuitton bag that let you know that it's real, rather than the fake ones.
Well, the first thing to do is
Mark
to
Fowler says, Mark Fowler says you got black people. Yeah, I mean,
buy a real
Mark
bag.
Fowler, Mark Fowler says. Mark Fowler says you have black people who vote for black politicians because they're black, which I am totally, completely against. But these
I just said that.
Don't do anything for their own people. They only come around when they need your vote. And
you need to learn to vote for accountability. And that can come in Asian, Chinese, Afghanistan. It could come in any race. Accountability. That's why you give your vote to that person.
Lamont Gates says, don't many white women splurge on nose jobs and buttock adjustments? No.
Yes.
Not as much.
Yes.
Not as much as we do. How many stories have you heard about women who have died behind butt? See, how many stories you see? White women don't die from butt implants. They go to the highfalutin doctor and get their stuff done the right way. But our people are flying out to the Dominican Republic and have some voodoo witch doctor, implant the butt thing, and then then you see him on Facebook a year later, and their butt look like a raisin, from whatever the person, whatever the person did wrong.
It sounds like you don't like black people.
I love black people. I'm a black. You see this face. This is a proud black, handsome black man. But we gotta be. The Mark Gates is asking me the same thing. Why am I so critical of black persons? Because you know how much money. If you could get the hair man to tell you what his income was for the year, it's got to be over $100,000.
I think we see the element of our culture that exemplify some of those things. I think that there's a lot of people that do differently and that contribute and try to show each other how to be successful. I run into people all the time that help other black people that live a normal life. You would never see me with, and I'm not the only one, but you wouldn't see me with eyelashes, okay? You wouldn't, I don't try to floss. And I think that when you feel good about yourself, and black people that feel good about themselves don't have to try to floss like that. But I think because oftentimes people have not had, and finally when they get a little bit, they want you to know that they have it. But as they really learn how to grow and how to really like themselves, those things fall off. Matter of fact, I was sharing with my husband. I wanted to have all the when I had my store. I wanted to have the Thomas Black shared uh, figurines and the this and the that and the other. And then after all of that stuff, that's so not important to me. What's important to me is love and family, and that we share time together. And I think that as we show people the benefit of that, those monetary things, and the way society is going right now with these wars and everything, we're going to need to love one another. We're going to need to hold on to one another. We're going to need to support one another. And I think that when push comes to shove, a lot of us do that.
Lamont Gates says, why am I so critical? You see, I'm critical because I used to work in Franklin Lakes. Franklin Lakes, one of the richest towns in America. By football players and Cindy Crawford, those are the people who lived in Franklin Lakes. And I used to work there. And you would see the kids standing in front of the house waiting for the bus. And the house is the size of the whole block. Some of the houses take up the whole block, and those kids will be standing outside waiting for the bus, and they would have on Garanimals and PF Flyers and that kind of stuff. Nobody had on Jordans. Nobody had on Nikes.
Right.
Nobody had on Adidas. Those kids were dressed. They had on Kmart clothes. See, that's how you become rich. Don't spend your money because we're the first ones to go buy the bougie, the Gucci. It's got to have somebody's name on it. I don't even have no designer stuff. Not even one piece of nothing that's designer, because I don't wear clothes that have Gucci or no, because those people are laughing all the way to the bank with our money. Mark
Angela,
is their money. Yeah, their money is their business. But you see, but white folks try to look like they don't have no money. You know what I'm saying? But black folks, we spend all our time trying to look like we do have money. And white
okay,
folks,
let's hear from Angela. Okay, Ron, you're talking up all the time.
white folks, when you see these people like Elon Musk and some of these people, they don't have no Gucci stuff or none of that. They be having Lee jeans and some raggedy shoes, because they're like, I got money, so I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. But us, we gotta wear the Gucci and let me see who said, Lamont Fowler says Adam was the downfall of the black man and the black people. Adam was black and he was the first man that God created. Wow, who agrees with that? That Adam was the first. Adam and Eve. Adam was black. Who agrees with that?
I agree with that.
That would make him black. And God created.
Well, now the thing is, I could go on Facebook and ask a question and get 200 different answers from black folks. I was talking to somebody who's involved with the NAACP. And you got the NAACP, you got the Urban League, you got National Action Network, and everybody's got a different agenda. Black Lives Matter is finished because they was spending money or something, so they're done. But let me see. Lamont Gates says that there are too many comparisons to white folks. Black folks are also not a monolith. We don't all do the same. Yeah, you're right about that. We don't
Right.
all do the same. Right. We don't. Maybe we should. Mark adds he could have been. He says Adam could have been black because Africa is the home of humanity. Well, okay, all right. Even if I agree to all of that stuff, what are we gonna do about today? What are we gonna do about today? There's about 6 minutes left of the program, everybody. What are we gonna do about today and the situation?
Starting to hold each other accountable. That's how we start today. We have an election that's forthcoming that we need to change those seats. We need to talk to our neighbors, our friends, strangers, and encourage them to vote, make their voices heard, and cancel out those candidates that are now holding those seats because they're doing nothing for Patterson. We start today with accountability.
All right,
And
I can agree with that because we gotta start
stop being
because we gotta
gaslit by
stop.
people.
We got some yeah, we got some really bad habits, that we need to address. But the first things first, you can't spell community without the word unity, and because of the lack of unity in the black community, this is why we're where we are. All
Right.
separated. Everybody got a different idea about what we're supposed to do. Uh, and then if a person doesn't agree with you, they don't even want to have a discussion with you. They just want to walk away. They don't
Right.
even want to talk to you. You know, how many how many organizations I've been a member of where two people disagreed and they both walked out, or one walked out because didn't they didn't agree with the other person. That's a poison in the black community. The lack of uh, togetherness,
Cooperation. Yes.
cooperation. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Lynn,
okay, I may not agree with you. Because white folk get together and they will say, okay, I can't stand you, but we gonna do this here. We both have a common issue. So I may not like you, but we got a common issue, and we're gonna solve this, address this, because we can't do it by ourselves. And maybe once we finish with this, I'll go back to disliking you. But we're gonna
now,
we're gonna stick together for this one thing. We're gonna stick together for this.
for the
We don't
for the
do that. We disagree. We get
public.
angry. Next thing you know, we cussing each other out, and the whole what we the whole reason why we were even talking goes out the window. Mark Fowler says, I agree with Miss Galashaw regarding changing the leadership of Patterson. And it's not just about Patterson. It's not just about Patterson. This is a
It's all
nationwide
over. It's
problem.
all over.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, we are
nationwide
lazy
problem.
when it comes to change.
But see, no
We
matter
rather
who's
complain.
yeah, but no matter who is running the city, the fourth ward is still going to be the fourth ward.
No, it's not. That's not true.
I don't
It
think
can
that. I
take
don't
one
think
man,
that.
one woman can change them. Martin Luther King was one man.
Well, Barack Obama was the president of the United States, and you see what happened with that. But not to say he did
I will
anything
not. I will
wrong.
not let you put
No, no, I respect Barack Obama and what he tried to do. He was the president for the whole United States of America, not just
He
us.
missed the
And that's
man.
why
He totally
that's
missed
why
the man.
yeah, and that's why so many people had problems um, with him because he was the president for everybody, and black
Well,
folks thought,
Trump is
oh,
supposed to be the president for everyone too.
Trump is a mistake. you know, I don't. I can't even explain it. I can't even explain it.
I think the orange man has gone red. He's out of his mind.
Well, see, in closing, everybody, we got about a minute and a half left of the program. And this is why I know that Mark Fowler's talked about voting, and we it's either 3 more years of Trump or vote in another Congress or another Senate. That's where we're at. We have got to vote for to get the Democrats, and I'm not no Democrat fan, but it's like the lesser of the two evils, Republicans and the
Yeah.
Democrats. And we do need to vote Democrat, only if just to stop Trump, if nothing else, just to stop Trump. Because if we control either one of those houses of government, Trump really can't do anything outside of executive.
Actively
Executive.
enforced. Not
Yeah. All right, everybody. We're gonna Mark Fowler's last comment. Fourth and first ward can change by applying. Oh yeah. So beat everybody. Well, that's what it is. Fourth, and first ward can change by applying Principal Joe Clark. I said, okay, go over there with a big bat and just get everybody in order. All right, everybody. Thank you, ladies. Angela Muhammad.
Thank you.
Darlene Morris,
Thank you,
Linda
Ron.
Garlashaw, Regana. How say it again?
Regina.
Regaina Bracy, and everybody else who listens to the program. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark Gates, who's on me all the time. Check out Mark Gates' real social talk and near-death experiences. That's what Lamont Gates talked about. People who say they died. They died, and without no assistance from the Lord, they came back. So you can check him out on yeah, right, on YouTube. Yeah, people who have died and came back. So you know, you can check him out on YouTube. Huh?
When is that
It's
on?
called. It's on YouTube. It's called Social Talk. Near-death experiences. People who say they were near death and they saw a bright light or whatever the case may be, and they came back. So yeah, check out Lamont. It's a pretty popular show. There's a lot of people who had near-death experiences. So
True.
yeah. So okay. All right, everybody. Thank you, ladies. Everybody. We'll see you back here next time for another This is the Rock Kelly Show. And until then, I'd like to say it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And that we may not have it all together, ladies and gentlemen, but together we can definitely have it all. Thank you so much. I think I'm out of here. Good night, ladies.
Good night.